and welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and CoffeeStream 277. And it's Wednesday, which means Skep Talk is with me. Hello, sir.
Hey, how you doing today? Are you having a good day?
I'm having an okay day.
You're having a day.
Pincalo's still home.
Yeah.
Logan's home and Pincalo's home.
Oh man. Canada is so easy.
Well, I don't know if you saw his Twitter or my Twitter, but his truck is off the road right now.
No, I didn't see that. So what happened?
So on Monday, basically, he literally tapped a curb and his steering knuckle joint snapped. So he has three wheels on his car and one wheel next to the car. And he's dealing with insurance and all that fun crap right now. But basically, he's not making money right now.
That's
because his truck is not trucking. So it's a stressful time right now.
Yes, it is.
So if anybody in chat is able or willing to, please listen to Nightbot today.
Yes,
I'm begging you.
GoFundMe is out there.
The GoFundMe's out there. The Streamlabs link is out there. We could really, really use some help. But on more interesting and less horrible, stressful news, we've got some news and some fun things to talk about. I've got a whole bunch of stuff. Skep has some stuff, so we should.
Well, I'm proud to bring a new future follower of yours into the world. The other day, my granddaughter was born.
Yes, how's she doing?
And she's doing just fine. Grampy has finally gotten over his cold enough to where he's going to get to go over to the house and see the baby. I did get to see the baby in the hospital.
Yeah,
right after she was born, and then I got sick as a dog.
Hospitals will do that to you.
Yeah. God, it's just a little plague center, you know. And you know, you cannot be around a newborn.
No.
If you have a sore throat, that's just deadly to a newborn.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've been waiting for me to be without symptoms for 24 hours and then feel like I can go over, and I started feeling better yesterday, a lot better.
Good.
Waited it out and talked with Andrea, and I'm going to go over this afternoon.
Oh, yay!
So anyway, that's kind of exciting.
Baby cups.
Yeah, I love that little kid. You know, it's so funny because you flash on, you know, what I was thinking of when I was sitting there with, you know, the baby was just sacked out on mom's chest. It was just the cutest picture. And I was thinking of the day that I brought Andrea home, and she was the size of a football, you know, and she was just so little. And I would just sit there with her snuggled up against me in this rocking chair that we had and rock her back and forth. And now I'm going to get to do that with my grandkid. This is
yay.
And this one has my genetic material, or at least 25% of hers. So that's really, you know, it just makes you feel. I'm smiling so hard my cheeks hurt. You know, it just makes you feel so good about that. So, anyways, that's been my big news, and it kind of made all the nonsense about, you know, Trudeau and Canadian politics and Brexit and the U.S. impeachment stuff, all that stuff just faded away into the background for a few days while we increased the population of the United States by one.
Faecal is back at the house. I'm going to go shut my office door.
All righty. So anyway, there was that. But as I have been away and spending time in the hospital, the world has turned.
How did he get that? Where was it?
The world certainly has turned.
Oh, my child is a monkey.
Mm.
You can't leave this one unsupervised for a minute. He is a climber.
Mm.
He will climb up.
Filling one of the toy cargo containers with it and trying to dump it into a fire truck.
He found Febreze, which is never good.
Yes.
So he was trying to fill
Is this powder or liquid?
liquid.
Of course.
So he's trying to fill a truck with Febreze so that he can put the Febreze into the fire truck.
Right.
Because
that's what you do. You want to soften the fire if you can.
Make it smell pretty.
Yeah, exactly.
Make the fire smell pretty. That's what you want to do.
I've never heard of anyone trying to put Febreze into a fire truck. I thought I'd heard probably everything, but now I have.
Oh,
Go sit on your little couch.
Hi, Logan. Are you going to hang out with me for a few minutes? Yeah. Okay, you sit quietly, okay?
Sit on your couch. Or do you want to sit in the chair next to Mommy so you could... You want to sit next to Mommy?
So did you hear... well, this is not something... Pardon?
He wants to be a broadcaster.
He does. So I was perusing the internet today.
Yes.
Just looking for stuff to read online on the stream. What are you giving me? Oh, thank you. Here, you can have this back. Oh, okay. So The Verge reported that the Facebook app, the iOS app, is accidentally opening up the camera without, permission.
Sweet.
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
That's excellent.
Yeah, so people like me who have no indication that is going on, because at least the camera has a bit of a light, I'm guessing.
Yes.
I can't tell. So I'm like, gee, I wonder if this has ever happened to me. So it says Facebook's iOS app appears to be activating the camera in the background of the app in some situations without users' knowledge. However, Facebook tells The Verge that it's submitting a fix to address the issues to Apple today. So Facebook just updated yesterday for Apple.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing there's going to be another update.
Yeah, it looks like there are a couple of ways that this has been found to happen. One person found that the camera UI on Facebook stories briefly appeared behind a video when they flipped their phone from portrait to landscape. Then when they flipped it back, the app opened directly to the stories camera.
Oh, God.
And they actually have this...
you have to stay in here, honey.
Captured on tape. So, and there's screen grabs in the article. It was also reported that when you view a photo on the app and just barely drag it down, it's possible to see an Actra camera viewfinder on the left side of the screen, as shown in the following screen cap. Blah blah blah, and sure enough, there it is. Okay, and the guy who found that one said he could reproduce the issue across 5 different iPhones that he tried, which were all apparently running iOS 13.2.2, but he could not reproduce it on iPhones running iOS 12. So Facebook, in a statement sent to The Verge after this article was originally published, says that the second issue is due to a bug that was inadvertently introduced in an app update released on November 8th, and it's submitting a fix to Apple today. So that's actually Facebook's problem. Yeah. Facebook has access to Apple's API, and so they're opening the camera. The company also tells us that we have seen no evidence of photos or videos being uploaded due to this bug.
Well, that's good at least,
We've,
but
we've seen no evidence of that. How hard have you looked?
yeah, no
You have a
kidding.
team of investigators on it or something? You
I
know,
highly doubt it.
nobody sued us yet is what is actually
Yeah.
the translation of that.
Yeah, nobody's private photos have.
Right, exactly. Additionally, the
This is
company tells The Verge that the first issue identified in this article will be addressed by the fix submitted to Apple today as well. So that actually, those are both app-based things. These aren't really Apple problems.
no.
These are app issues that you probably might have some oversight problems with between Apple and Facebook. See, when a big player like Facebook is writing code for your operating system, for Apple's operating system, and they're doing stuff that's deep in the operating system and working with the fundamental processes of the operating system, you normally have guys from Apple who are supervising that process. I mean, you'll devote a couple of senior level troubleshooting type programmers, I mean, top-notch principal programmers, to somebody like Facebook to make sure that this kind of stuff doesn't happen. And I wonder if Apple is doing any oversight at Facebook at all, or if Facebook told them just basically, no, we've got this. And that's actually what I think might be happening, is that Apple is sort of losing control of its own operating system.
I think I agree with you there.
Yeah.
A lot of the bigger conglomerates like Facebook and Twitter and them are just basically like, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
We got this.
And the thing is, the person who is publishing the API, that's Apple,
Yeah.
has a responsibility to say, well, no, we're going to verify firsthand that it's okay.
Yeah.
We love that you think it's okay. We think that's fabulous. But you know what? We're just going to verify it's okay.
Yeah.
So, fuck off. I don't. Anyway,
I'm getting like more and more inclined to just delete my Facebook account.
Well, yeah, Zuckerberg nuked my Facebook account. I restarted my Facebook account under my real name, under the Frank name, and just so that I could look at pictures of my new granddaughter and post up things and so forth.
Yeah.
And but that's the only reason. That's the only reason that I went back to do that. As far as being a viable social networking type platform, no, screw that. And I will not use it on my phone. I won't use the app on my phone.
Oh no.
Get it? Not doing it. I'll barely use Twitter on my phone. I'm so paranoid about that. So it's they just know so much anyway. Just by knowing your location, just by being able to see what the packets that come from your
it's crazy. Like I go traveling around the city, and I'll open Facebook on my phone and I'll see sponsored ads for, I went to Timothy's Coffee House, and Facebook was like, "Hey, I saw that your phone said that you were at Timothy's Coffee House today.
I hate that stuff.
So here's an ad for them." It's
because
I had never searched for any of their Facebook pages or anything like that. They just, my phone's location told Facebook that I might be interested in an ad for Timothy's Coffee House.
Interesting thing. It's very similar to that. I had a similar experience between Google and Facebook. I'd been looking for a particular group on Google, trying to find out information for it. And so I went into Facebook and I searched on something for that genre. And the first 3 or 4 listings were that group that I had been searching for on Google.
That's crazy.
Yes, there's like a Skep Talk account, that says, I know who you are, I know what you're thinking. We just want to help you. It always starts out that way, doesn't it?
Or like if I've been on
Use your speech.
if I've been on the Blind Press account and then I go to do like typing for like my WhatsApp or anything like that, it'll just keep putting like Blind Press in my predictive text.
Yes, right, exactly. Yeah, that's it's kind of eerie.
It is very disturbing. It's like, oh man.
I'm waiting for it. I'll type in some acerbic tweet, and it'll say, "I don't think you want to say that."
I'm sorry, Dave. You can't say that.
I'm afraid you can't type that. I want to send this. I'm afraid I can't do that.
I don't think you do.
I
I really don't think you do.
Sending this text instead. It's much more helpful.
Like Twitter, I was typing in a tweet yesterday that said, does anyone else think to themselves when a snowplow goes by, well, there goes the clear sidewalk? Twitter decided I'm a snowblower. And didn't, like, how autocorrect will generally type or switch the word right away when you type it?
Yes.
It didn't do that until I hit the tweet button.
Oh, wow. That's actually probably a screen refresh problem.
Maybe.
Anyway, God.
But it was just weird. It was like...
I've evaluated your message and decided to add in it for you.
You got coffee spilled on your desk.
I know.
Would you like a towel?
Yes, please.
So you spill coffee on your desk. That's distracting.
It is distracting.
You can't think about anything else other than that fucking spilled coffee.
Housekeeping.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Housekeeping. You want mint for pillow?
No mint for pillow, thank you.
No more lemon pledge.
We need more lemon pledge. Yes.
Yeah. I love you a long time.
Yeah. So the AARP has even gotten in on this okay boomer crap.
Oh boy.
So AARP executive responds to millennial okay boomer viral insult with her own snarky put down. Because, I'm sure the AARP has nothing else to do.
Yes.
Than worry about what millennials are saying. So it says, an executive for the American Association of Retired Persons, AARP, responded to the viral insult against the baby boomer generation with her own snarky put down. Oh, this is funny. Okay. So it says, Myrna Blythe. That's definitely an old person's name. No offense to present company. But Myrna Blythe. Oh my God.
Myrna.
She sounds like a character out of like an Anna Green Gables book or something.
It sounds like a D&D character.
Yeah.
Myrna the zombie.
Yeah. So Myrna Blythe, senior vice president and editorial director of the AARP, was asked to respond to the OK Boomer insult that had gained popularity, to which her organization represents. OK Millennials, OK Millennials, but we are the people that actually have the money, she mocked during the Access interview. Okay, millennials, but we're the people with the money. Ouch. It's not wrong. She's not wrong at all. Oh man. That's funny. Oh, you got muted. Or did you mute yourself? I started getting junk mail from the AARP in my late 20s. Maybe they should work on that since Ginger Snap. Yeah.
Sorry,
there you are.
I just dropped my computer.
Oh, shit.
It's all right.
You're not supposed to do that.
Oh no, that's not ideal. I'm being paid back
You're
for
not-
laughing at you.
You're not supposed to throw your computer on the floor.
No, dogs are not supposed to do what they suddenly did.
Oh dear.
We're getting
Did they
in shape here.
did they go for your cables?
One of them just it's complicated. Anyway,
Oh
one
God.
made a move that I wasn't expecting. I tried to catch her, and not only did she take a pretty hard tumble, but so did the computer. So anyway, we're all okay now. We're
good.
So, but the headphones got ripped out of my ears. What were you talking about?
So the AARP lady, the vice president and editor of the, because I guess the AARP needs an editor.
Yeah, it's a cash pump.
So she's responded to the okay boomer thing.
Yeah.
And her thing is, okay, millennials, but we're the people with the money, which is kind of not really an insult, but I'm sorry, like the left can't meme, and apparently old people can't come back. I don't know what it is.
Some people can't. I mean, if you think old people can't be,
well, I know some. I know two.
Serbic, check my Twitter account, please.
Yeah, I know two people who are older that are pretty good at comebacks. You and Prospero. So
buddy Prospero is even better than I am. So,
but this was just pretty wimpy. Okay, millennials, but we have the money. So, where? Are you getting like 30 grand a month from your social security?
Yeah.
Like,
No.
I'm sorry, but Gen X seems to have the most out of the three generations. I would say Generation X probably has the most money right now.
It depends. Most boomers now are in the process, like I am, of transferring their money to their heirs and assignees.
Yes.
I'm trying to not die. I'm trying to die basically a pauper, with just enough money to cremate me.
Yeah.
And have done with it. And I don't, because I don't want to pay any estate tax. I don't want my son and daughter to pay any estate tax.
Yeah.
And I'm also skipping a generation because both my son and daughter are pretty well off, and helping to fund my grandkids, just give them a start, give them a college fund start, that kind of stuff. Although if Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders gets elected president, college will be free, which is awesome. I'm sure it'll be worth every penny they pay for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, there are a lot of places to go right now. With that discussion, some of the stuff that I was looking, one thing I wanted to make sure that we talked about one thing that I thought was very interesting, and this is an article in Politico.
Ooh, is this your graph?
No, this is actually Hillary Clinton.
Oh boy.
Hillary Clinton says that she is being urged to run by many, 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 many people to run in 2020.
Hillary?
The two-time presidential hopeful and former Secretary of State wouldn't definitively rule out another bid. Hillary Clinton on Tuesday declined to rule out launching a future presidential campaign after her two failed bids, saying many, 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 many people were pressuring her to enter the race.
The voices in your head don't count as people.
As I say, never, 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 never say never. The former Secretary of State said, unironically apparently, said on BBC Radio 5 Live, I will certainly tell you I'm under enormous pressure from many, 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 many people to think about it.
What's her obsession with 5?
We don't. No
she
one
said
knows.
Many 5 times. She said never 5 times. What is with?
It's not clear. But as of this moment, sitting here in this studio talking to you, that is absolutely not in my plans, Clinton added, and then winked with a big stage wink. Oh. Whereas in previous election cycles, the field narrowed as the primaries approached, 2020 is different. Democrats continue to join, indicating an unsettled, broadening race of complete idiots less than 3 months before the Iowa caucuses, and as polls reflect shifting support for top-tier candidates, who themselves are buffoons. Michael Bloomberg, the billionaire former mayor of New York, filed for the Alabama primary a day before the deadline last week, possibly in preparation for a full-blown presidential bid. Former Governor Deval Patrick of Massachusetts, widely regarded as the largest idiot in the United States, has expressed interest in announcing his candidacy as early as this week. Could Clinton be next? Reporters have been asking her, on everywhere she goes, everything that she's on. She's been made promoting a book, The Book of Gutsy Women, which she wrote with her daughter, Chelsea Clinton, because, let's face it, Chelsea Clinton is a gutsy woman. Right? She has alluded to the possibility multiple times, including in a Twitter exchange in which she quipped back at Donald Trump, who had urged crooked Hillary to enter the race to edge out uber-left Elizabeth Warren. She said, "Don't tempt me. Do your job."
He is doing his job.
Clinton won the popular vote in 2016, but lost in the corrupt Electoral College, seemingly ruled out a 2020 bid in multiple interviews. If she does not decide to be a late entrant to the race, she will have missed the deadline to be on a ballot in several states. I know it's way past time, she said on Tuesday. Look, I think all the time about what kind of president I would have been and what I would have done differently and what I think I would have meant to my country and our world and how wonderful I would have been. Whoever wins next time is going to have a big task trying to fix everything that's been broken by this evil man. She's really boop shooby crazy,
Yeah.
She's a complete nutter.
Good Lord.
So there you go.
That's just cuckoo bananas. Holy crap.
Oh my God. So
Grillin' Pirate Pete says she's listening to the ghost of Jeffrey Epstein.
You might not be wrong. You might be wrong. Yeah, why do we have to come up with crazy people and has-beens and crazy people who are has-beens? Why can't we come up with new regular people?
I don't know. Like, there are people in Canada that want Andrew Scheer to leave the Conservative Party, and they want, and I'm not shitting you here, Ben Mulroney, the son of Brian Mulroney, to be the leader of the Conservative Party. Ben Mulroney, the guy who decided to fuck off to television.
Yes, the TV guy.
Yeah, him. They want him. Because, his dad did such a great fucking job.
Yes. Okay, he is related to Senior Mulroney.
Yep, that's his daddy. Brian's his daddy.
Good Lord. Good Lord.
There are people who unironically think Ben Mulroney should lead the Conservative Party. Because, he's so conservative.
Well, yeah, it makes all kinds of sense, really. sense at all. None of this made any sense. So anyway, I was getting something though about the presidential campaign that I really did want to take up. And it's a very interesting thing. You know that Iowa is our first caucus
Yes.
in the United States, and as Iowa goes, I mean, it has a huge amount of influence.
Hmm.
Most people who wind up being elected president win Iowa.
Right.
Do you know who's number one in Iowa right now in the Democrats?
In Iowa and the Democrats.
Elizabeth Warren is who you would think, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's got to be Warren.
They're so liberal in Iowa. But then you think, well, Bernie Sanders, though, he has a lot of appeal. Okay, and then you think, no, they kind of like that steady Eddie guy, Joe Biden. But it's not any of those people.
Oh, please tell me it's not Buttigieg.
It's Pete Buttigieg. It
Holy
hell is. Pete Buttigieg, whose presidential campaign has been steadily gaining ground in Iowa over recent weeks, sits narrowly atop the 2020 Democratic field in the first in the nation's caucus state, according to a survey. And this is Monmouth, so this is actually a pretty trustworthy poll. Published Tuesday shows the South Bend, Indiana mayor. Yes, that's right. He's mayor of South Bend, Indiana. That's all he's ever done. Is the first choice of 22% of likely Democratic caucus goers, outrunning all other rivals in Iowa for the party's nomination to challenge President Donald Trump. Former Vice President Joe Biden ranks in second place with 19% support, followed closely by Senator Elizabeth Warren, aka Pocahontas, of Massachusetts, with 18%, and Bernie Sanders with 13%. So it's not, it's 22 to 19, but that's still 3% is significant. That's a 10% lead over the second place guy and the only guy in the 20s. So he was in third place with 13% support in the Suffolk University poll that was released in October, and that's a much smaller poll, by the way. But that was released in October. He is in a Quinnipiac poll, he was behind Warren by 1 percentage point, and that was in October. So he is coming on strong. No kidding. And his showing in Tuesday's poll represents a 14-point gain in Iowa since Monmouth's previous statewide survey in August, when he was at 8%. I'm sorry, he's gone from 8% to 22%.
Wow.
So decreased by 14 points. And that's an astonishing move. That's a real
That
move.
is. That's huge.
Yeah, that is huge. He's more than doubled his support. If his momentum continues that way, he will have an impressive victory there. And he's been working hard in New Hampshire. He will come to New Hampshire like, a man on fire. That'd be interesting if he beats Bernie Sanders in the state that is next, that shares Vermont's biggest frontier, biggest border. That would be amazing.
Diesel Dave says South Bend is a shithole.
South Bend is a shithole, by the way. That's neither here nor there. I mean, it's just a boring little town without much of the usual college charm that you expect to find. It has a university, at Notre Dame, but that's a it's a very exclusive university. There's very much an us and them culture in South Bend. I've been there. It's very similar to where I went to college in Evanston, Illinois, which has Northwestern University, and very much there's a townie and there's the university folk and the townies.
Yeah,
and townies resent, they resent and and love both the the university that makes that a very rich town, and makes the streets nice and keeps the crime down. But they hate the snootiness of both the students and faculty and administration. And there's two kinds of people in Evanston: the people who work at Northwestern and everybody else. So it's very much the same way in South Bend. And South Bend is even has a dingy side to it that Evanston does not have. Evanston is, poor folks in Evanston make $80,000 a year.
God damn.
Yeah, those are poor. Those
must be nice.
Yeah, they only have like a 5,000 square foot house. Those are the people just barely getting by.
See, I wouldn't want a house that big. I wouldn't want to pay to heat that thing.
Well, no. I'm making a point.
No, I just when I hear people, they get all excited. I have a so many 1,000 square foot house. I'm just like, you have to pay to heat and cool that shit.
It's an archaic sign of wealth. It's stupidity now. Just have a place where you can live. I would much rather have a low maintenance luxury apartment or condominium or a freestanding small house. I have been a homeowner for a long time, and there are good things about home ownership, not sharing a common wall. I like that. I like having a castle that I can protect. I like being able to see lanes of gunfire that I can project from my house. I like being able to do that. You can't really do that in an apartment. You have to be careful, poking holes in the walls with gunfire. You can be a little bit more indiscriminate in your own house. But the joys of home ownership include things like learning how to fix your own lawnmower. And stuff like that. I don't know if do people have lawns or grass in Canada?
Yep. When actually the reason our landlords love us so much because we
grow ice up there.
Well, we grow ice for about 5 months out of the year, but
that's right.
But our landlords, when we rented this house, our landlords absolutely love us because our landlords, they're Chinese, and they would rent to Chinese exchange students quite often. And a lot of, most of the people in China don't have lawns or anything like that.
Yes.
So the front and backyard were basically dead when we moved in. Pincott, we haven't been able to do much with it this year, but Pincott was doing tons of yard work and stuff for the front and backyard, and they were like, it looks great. You have no idea how much better this house looks now that you're here. Because it's when you rent a house, it's really cool because you can kind of practice at home ownership. Mm-hmm. But when the big stuff happens, you can still call the landlord and be like, hey, but the little repairs you do yourself, right?
Yes.
Any of the little stuff you do yourself, but say the furnace goes out, then you can still have the luxury of calling the landlord and going, hey, pay for a furnace.
But yeah, it's interesting. Toronto, for example, is at 43.65 degrees latitude north. Brussels, where I lived, what latitude do you think it's at? Just off the top of your head without looking it up.
I would think it would still be in the 40s. I'm not entirely sure.
Something similar, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't think it'd be 50 degrees latitude. People don't
actually. I was about to say 50, and I amended it to something like.
Most of Europe is farther north than everybody thinks it is.
Yeah.
People think of sunny Spain. Sunny Spain is at about the same latitude as Boston.
Yeah.
I mean, you get far enough down, you're almost maybe to Virginia in terms of latitude, and so it's a whole different thing. Americans think that Canada is so cold and so forth, and we think there are parts of Europe that are just sunny and warm. Most of Italy is at the same latitude. You think of Italy as being sunny. Most of Italy is at the same latitude as Canada is, as southern Canada.
Yet a lot of Italians, they don't like unless you're in the mountains. Like I knew someone who grew up in Italy, and she grew up in a part of Italy where there was not very much snow.
Well, yeah,
and then she moved here.
That's actually most of Italy.
Yeah, and then she moved here, and she was like, "Just Christ, if we got an inch of snow, the whole city was shut down." Like
exactly. Yeah. No,
it's crazy.
Naples latitude is 40 degrees. So that's 180 miles south, or 210 miles south, I'm sorry, of Toronto.
Yeah.
So that puts you in New York State, basically. Southern New York State.
So you want to hear about something that's both gross and amusing?
Mm-hmm.
So a woman is claiming post-traumatic stress disorder because a homeless man dumped a bucket of his feces on her.
Okay. I can see how I can see how you would have gross traumatic stress disorder, but not.
Yeah, I'd definitely be grossed out, and I would be upset.
Yeah.
Right, but I don't think I would claim
PTSD, like somebody comes back from combat. I actually find this kind of stuff offensive because I've known guys who came back and they weren't right after being almost killed or seeing a buddy
absolutely
ground in a hamburger right next to them. That shit is real, and it does happen. Those guys need to be taken care of. And when somebody claims, I got PTSD because man said mean words to me, or he peed on me, or dumped shit on me, fuck off.
Or I shot a gun willingly.
Shot a gun. Oh my God, I've got PTSD. I want to say, dude, you're a failed human. No offense, but you don't. I'm going to euthanize you because you're just disgusting.
Yeah.
You don't need to be alive. There's nothing you can contribute, and you could harm our children. So bye-bye.
Yes, Mr. Dax, you are absolutely right. It was California that this happened in.
I'm shocked.
Near the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Because, you go to Hollywood to get shit thrown at you.
Exactly. Well, he's not the first person to be shit on Hollywood, but that's not important right now.
So apparently he threw a bucket of diarrhea over this chick's head, and there's a video that I'm not playing.
Boy, I'm so not watching that. Hey, can I just first of all shout out Mr. Dax? He says, Skep, I guess the Gulf current helps. Is that an intentional pun? Or do you mean the Gulf current? Anyway, so
yeah, there's like an actual video in this article that I am not hitting the play button on.
Word up. Yeah, no.
Just no.
No. Don't even go to the visual in your minds, folks.
Yeah, so this chickie here, I'm trying to get through all these stupid. So a woman has been left with PTSD, fuck off, after a man threw a bucket of hot diarrhea over her head.
At least it wasn't cold.
How did he make it hot?
It was fresh.
Like, I mean, I know it comes out warm, but not hot.
98.6. I mean, what's that? What is that in Celsius?
37.2.
37.2. So it comes out 37.2. That's fairly hot, right? It's at least warm.
It's body temperature. It's not hot.
Yeah.
So it says Heidi von Tassel.
Of course.
Yeah.
An exotic dancer.
Was about to head home following a tour of the Hollywood Walk of Fame when a rough sleeper dragged her out of her car. Is that a name for a homeless person?
What? Wait a minute. What? Sleeper?
A rough sleeper.
Rough sleeper definition. Rough.
Does that mean, is that like the nice term for homeless man?
Yes, it comes from England and it means homelessness.
Wow. So that's the politically correct term for a homeless person now, I guess, is a rough sleeper.
Rough sleepers. I'm appalled. Someone who sleeps or lives outside because they have no home. I mean, that's the Macmillan Dictionary definition.
Okay, then.
Go.
So it says he pulled her into the middle of the street and dumped the bucket of feces over her head, the victim claimed. So she was in her car, she's saying.
Yes.
And this guy got her car open.
Yes.
And pulled her out of the car into the middle of the street and dumped shit on her.
For fuck's sake. Really?
I'm about ready to like the fact that there's a video here. If there was no video, I would have been like X'd it out.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because this just doesn't sound like, especially nowadays with most cars being automatic transmissions, the minute you put your car in drive, the doors lock.
Yeah. I wonder if this was staged.
Yeah,
I wonder if this is for her to get on disability, because someone with the name like Heidi von Tassels is going to think of something like this. I'm sorry, they just are.
Yeah, this is honestly like a Jussie Smollett thing. Really?
Yes, that's what exactly. I'm glad you said that. Heidi von Tassels.
Something, I think it's Heidi von Tassel, yeah.
PTSD. Okay, California.
Yeah, she says it was diarrhea, she told NBC4.
She was on TV. Holy shit. She said she was getting in her car after grabbing dinner with some friends near the Hollywood Walk of Fame in Los Angeles, and the 6'2" man who appeared to be homeless attacked her a few months ago. It was diarrhea. I was soaked, and it was coming off my eyelashes and into my eyes, Van Tassel said. Paramedics who came to treat me said there was so much of it on me that it looked like the man was saving it for a month. She added
then
that
how was it hot?
Got inside her car as well. He just kept pouring it and splattering it all over me, she told KNBC. Then she said he took off. He ran away and I couldn't see, she said during the emotional interview with Fox News. I was stuck in the middle of the road on Hollywood Boulevard and no one would stop because I was covered with diarrhea.
How did you not get hit by a car?
Exactly.
You're standing on fucking Hollywood Boulevard. I've never been to Hollywood, but I know that that's not exactly an empty street.
It's a wall-to-wall character. Van Tassel said eventually a couple did stop and help her. The police came and they got the feces out of my eyes so I could sort of see, she said, adding that her attacker had returned and was standing across the street staring her down. She said firemen also were dispatched to the scene and had to peel off all my items of clothing because I'm soaked in his feces. Crews wrapped Van Tassel in a blanket and rushed her to Hollywood Presbyterian Hospital, where she got tested for infectious diseases caused by contact with feces, something she said she'll have to do every 3 months for the rest of eternity. The man who attacked her was identified in court records as Jerry Blessings, a transient with schizophrenia and psychotic disorders. Blessings was charged with battery and was taken to jail. Van Tassel, though, says Blessings would be better off under psychiatric care. He doesn't need jail time, she said. He needs mental health care. I have empathy for him because he needs help. She also said she kind of liked it once she thought about the experience. Blessings was found unfit to stand trial and released back to the streets, she said. A media spokesperson for the launch, that's what they do in California. A media spokesperson for the Los Angeles Police Department told Fox News that as shocking as Van Tassel's incident was, it's something that happens more or less every day, according to police spokesman. Attacks in which a homeless person was the primary suspect has been growing across the Los Angeles area. Data from Los Angeles Police Department showed that the number of arrests of homeless people so far has been 6,677, up from 4,700 in 2017. The number of violent assault cases also went up to 2,500 from 2,000 in 2019, from 1,750 in 2017. LA residents are pretty fed up with this, evidently. Anyway, counts for most of the country's homeless population. Think about that. Out of all the people who are homeless in the United States, one state has more than 50% of them.
Jesus Christ.
Despite throwing hundreds of millions of dollars at the problem, that's a substantial proportion of $1 billion. The number of homeless in Los Angeles County has risen for the third time in 4 years. That's hundreds of millions of dollars at the problem in Los Angeles County
alone. Yeah.
Okay, yes. The most recent count released in July by the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority showed that nearly 60,000 homeless people, wow, 60,000 homeless people have been living without permanent shelter on any given night in the city of Los Angeles. It's 16% of the people in the city of Los Angeles are homeless.
That's insane.
Yeah. Anyway, so back to Heidi. It's so traumatic. The PTSD that I'm dealing with is beyond anything that I've ever felt, she said. There needs to be some kind of help for the victims of these crimes, some kind of huge monetary compensation to make me feel better. Okay, she didn't say that one.
I was going to say huge monetary compensation from the schizophrenic homeless man. Good luck with that.
Yeah, exactly. No, it needs to come from the state.
Yeah, of course.
Because the state can just print that money and just, it's like having a money tree. Like having a platinum asteroid. Did you hear about the platinum asteroid?
No.
Oh my God. Hang on, let me bring it up. Asteroid.
Maddie says, so he gave her mixed blessings. Oh.
Yeah, this is the platinum asteroid, potential worth $5.4 trillion to pass the Earth on Sunday.
Wow.
An asteroid believed to be carrying up to 90 million tons of platinum in its core. Yes, that's 90 million tons. Okay. That's 180 billion pounds. That doesn't even mean anything of platinum.
Think of all the technology you could make with that.
Think of all the wedding bands.
Yeah.
It could finally support the divorce industry, as well as other rare and precious minerals, including tons and tons and tons of gold. Tons of gold. More gold than has ever been mined on Earth. Seriously. The news has left developers of asteroid mining technologies intrigued. Yeah, bet they are. The platinum-rich asteroid, officially named lots of numbers in letters and
Letters.
things, is 452 meters by 1,100 meters. So it's basically a kilometer thick. Okay.
That is a big rock.
Yeah, a kilometer thick worth of platinum is a serious amount of platinum. It's going to pass the Earth at a distance of about 1.5 million miles, basically. So that means that it's about 6 times farther away from the Earth than the Moon. So it's nothing particularly close. The you won't be able to see it except without a telescope, but they're going to take pictures of it as it goes by. The other thing is it's going to be going pretty fast. It's going to be going like 50,000 miles an hour relative to our speed and direction.
Right.
So it would be tricky. It's not going to be there for long.
No.
Is what I'm saying. And you'd have to do some really fast mining to pull anything off before it got really, really far away. I mean, it's warp speed. But
that's really cool.
That's really kind of cool, though, to think about it. It's, the proximity of the asteroid's orbit to Earth. I mean, and it does. It actually orbits the sun like asteroids do. And but it's one of those asteroids with an eccentric orbit that brings it close to Earth's orbit.
Okay.
Close enough to where we'll probably never hit it. But and I mean, you're talking about hitting a bullet with a bullet somewhere in Utah, right?
Mm.
Two people each one is somewhere in Utah.
Yeah.
And they don't know where. Okay, and they both fire a gun at roughly the same time. And what are the odds that the two bullets would hit? That's the kind of number you're talking about us doing this thing. So, but it will pass close enough to where we could send a robotic mission to it, and possibly we could do a quick hit on it, bring a bunch of ore back, and the ore would contain so much precious metals we could actually refine what we bring back. They estimate the potential worth of this thing at $5.4 trillion in current money. But here's the thing about that. If you brought back all of that platinum would become about as rare as 10.
That's what Addie said. He said the price of platinum would just drop through the floor.
So would gold. So would gold. And the other thing that could happen is we could do things like have a significant amount of gold in conductive wiring and electricity wiring.
Yeah.
It would make the price of power drop because gold has less resistance in it than copper.
Yeah.
Gold is like the best conductor on Earth. It's just got oodles and oodles of electrons, and it's just a very happy electricity conductor. It's a very favorably configured atom for conducting electricity. You put that, you start having a gold copper alloy as your conductive wire. You will have less resistance, which means less power loss over distance, which means it's easier to transmit more power, which means you have to transmit less. There's less waste. Basically. And what that means is power gets cheaper.
Yes.
And
technology gets cheaper.
Yes, exactly. Oh, yeah. That's the other thing. You could have all
computer
gold conductors. Yeah, all gold conductors in your computer. All platinum and gold conductors. I mean, it would be awesome. It would be absolutely awesome. So, anyway, yeah, it's kind of an interesting idea. It will be fun to see. You can see I'm going to find where they're broadcasting the let's see, when was this? This was you know what?
Already happened.
This thing came up on a feed that I have of stuff that's interesting to me, but it's supposed to be current stuff. I didn't look at the date on this. This happened 4 years ago.
Oh shit!
Oh man.
Whoopsie!
Oopsie. Well, anyway, I'm
So
sure you can find
pictures of it.
pictures of this. Yeah. Well, actually, I am. I'm finding pictures of it right now. In fact, I'm gonna just pop this into chat for the interested folk.
So have
And,
you heard? Have you ever heard of a?
the
Have you
old
ever heard of
boomer?
a named?
Yeah,
Have you ever heard of a guy named Don Cherry?
yeah, Don Cherry, of course.
Yeah. So he got fired
He was a Canadian
on Monday. Pardon?
Canadian sportscaster guy.
That's correct. He's been on Hockey Night in Canada for decades.
Fired.
Yeah, decades. So he got fired.
I mean, he's like your Howard Cosell kind of.
Yeah.
What did he get fired for?
So he kind of let his mouth run off like he's known for.
Yeah.
Don Cherry has always been a very outspoken guy. He doesn't mince his words.
He's kind of a conservative, isn't he?
He's very conservative. So he said that the reason that poppy sales, like, because in Canada we wear a poppy
on Remembrance Day.
On Remembrance Day.
Sure.
And he said the reason that poppy sales are going down and that not very many people are wearing poppies is because of immigrants. Now, that's not necessarily true.
Yeah. Sorry, what?
I know that that's not true. And that's not, I don't think that's what he meant to say. Like, I think he was trying to say something else. But it came out as basically it's the immigrants' fault. And you guys need
against immigrants.
Yeah. And he said, if you guys want to enjoy your life here in Canada, you need to remember and honor and respect the people who died to give it to you. Right?
Okay. But where's the part that he said something offensive?
So that's the thing that he said.
What?
And Rogers Sportsnet.
Wait. What?
The whole thing that I just told you about. That's what
all
he said.
And they fired him?
And they fired him. And he has said, let me tell you, you can YouTube Don Cherry rants that will go back to the 90s, okay? And there will be plenty that will make you go, oh boy, right? There are plenty that...
So was this like a cumulative sin thing? Is that basically...
I don't know. I really don't know. This is... I really think this is because he used to be, the CBC used to own Hockey Night in Canada, right?
Yeah.
And then Rogers Sportsnet picked it up. And Rogers is not a public... CBC is Canada's like BBC, right? It's public TV, basically. Well, it's not public, but it's
the people's TV.
The people's TV, basically.
The party's TV, yes.
Rogers is an actual private
company.
Okay. Right. So I think that Rogers Sportsnet kind of did what they did for their stocks, honestly. So this article I have here that will talk about why he got fired, and then I have an article where actual soldiers are reacting, and of course they found the lefty soldiers to say, I cringed. But first we're gonna read this one where it says Don Cherry has been fired before, which is true. He has been fired before, but there's been enough public outcry. Like, BBC fired him once, I think, for saying something, just not thinking, right?
Yeah.
But the public was like, dude, bring him back, right? So they did. So it says, of course, it's always it's hard, but after you have been fired by the Boston Bruins, you can handle everything, teased some other person. After Sportsnet, whoa, this is a big, long sentence. Hold on. Let me skip some stuff here.
I've actually got a follow-up article if you're interested.
Oh,
This is him
sure.
being interviewed on Tucker Carlson
Oh, he
about
got on to Tucker. Wow.
Yeah, he said former Boston Bruins head coach and recently fired Canadian sportscaster Don Cherry spoke on Tucker Carlson tonight about his dismissal after 38 years as a fixture on Hockey Night in Canada for his on-camera comments about immigration. Cherry, 85, he's 85 years old, told Carlson he didn't mean to say anything hateful. However, he noted, "I stand by what I said, and I still mean it." Cherry left viewers shocked during Saturday's Coach's Corner segment, in which he criticized people who were not wearing poppy pins to mark Canada's Remembrance Day. You people love, they come here, whatever it is. You love our way of life. You love our milk and honey, Cherry said at the time. The least you can do is pay a couple of bucks for a poppy or something like that. These guys pay for your way of life that you enjoy in Canada. These guys pay the biggest price. Cherry told Carlson he has the support of the silent majority, including law enforcement, and said his mistake was using the term "you people" rather than a more innocuous, inclusive term such as everybody.
Yeah.
It's the two words that got it. As you know, people are sensitive like that, Cherry told Carlson. He's amazingly restrained. These soldiers died so we can have our way of life. At least wear a poppy in their honor. Wow. You get fired for that?
That's all he was trying to say. That's
Really?
That's all he was trying to say.
Good God. In his first public comments since Canadian TV network Sportsnet announced his decision, Cherry said he had no problem with being fired and refused to apologize. "I know what I said, and I meant it," Cherry told the Toronto Sun. "Everybody in Canada should wear a poppy to honor our fallen soldiers."
Yes, they should.
If you get fired for saying that, walk out of there with your head held high because you are being fired by maggots.
Yep.
Cherry had a long career in the American Hockey League, but only ever played one professional NHL game in 1955 with the Boston Bruins. He went on to become the Bruins head coach for 5 seasons from 74 to 79, helping bring the team to 2 Stanley Cup finals.
Yeah, he's been in hockey forever.
Wow. That's a mighty, mighty virtue signal. That's all I can say. We had to fire him. Our hands were tied. This metastasizing bigot, he said we should honor our fallen soldiers. That immigrants who came to this country should be grateful for the lives that they get to lead because these people paying the ultimate price.
Yeah.
He said that, and we were all triggered. We, of course, fired him. Good God. Good God. Look at yourself.
We fired the senior citizen because he said you should honor the soldiers. That's amazing.
Oh my God. Yeah, irate prostitute says, "You cocksuckers," is what he should have said.
Yeah.
You cocksuckers have this way of life. Oh, yeah. Wikipedia snippet is coming. And remember when Perot got in trouble for saying "you people"? Yes, everybody thought he was talking about black people. And irate prostates brings back the name of possibly the greatest hockey player of all time, Bobby Orr. For my money, the greatest.
My mom got to meet Bobby Orr.
Really?
Yeah, she was doing some, I can't remember what it was, but it was like she was volunteering for something, and Bobby Orr was taking part because it was supporting I think it was supporting his old minor league team or something like that.
Wow. God's defenseman.
And my mom walked up to him like a child and said, "Excuse me, Mr. Orr, sir, could you sign my shirt, my sweatshirt?" Like just, just like a little kid, "Excuse me, Mr. Orr, sir."
That's kind of the way I would have been. I got to tell you, be humble in the great man's presence.
Yeah. And
she
said he was the nicest guy. Like she said he was so nice about it, and he's like, "Of course I'll sign your sweatshirt."
Yeah. He was he was an amazing defenseman, because not only was he a tremendous defenseman, he could score. He was just sly. He just understood the game so well. He knew how to get himself screened, and he had a screaming slap shot that he could let go from the pointer just inside the point. Plus, he was so fast, he could play inside. He could cheat up and get down in the zone. He didn't play on the blue line a lot. He would come from the blue line, and he knew he could get away with it because he was just so fast. That he didn't get beat a lot. I used to love to watch him play. And I was a Blackhawks. I was a Chicago Blackhawks fan. I mean, the Bruins would just come and beat the Hawks like a drum.
Yeah.
Even though we had Bobby Hull and Tony Esposito, those were the days.
So did you hear that the Supreme Court is allowing the Sandy Hook families to sue Remington?
I did hear about that. They're kind of letting it go forward on a technicality. That they said that the basis for squelching the suit was insufficient. It's kind of a legalistic ruling. They're still going to have to show that the manufacturer did something in particular to be irresponsible, as opposed to all the other makers of that type of gun. It's something out of the ordinary to cause that massacre to happen. And I think that when that question of law comes up to the Supreme Court, and I bet it does, that you'll have a landmark, what amounts to instantaneous tort reform.
Yeah.
At least in that area of the law, with the Supreme Court saying, no, you cannot, you can't identify the damages back to that. Because if you're going to do that, then it's going to clear the way so that if somebody used an American Express card to buy a gun, you can sue American Express card for somebody who was shot with the gun on behalf of someone.
If somebody driving a Chevy smashes into somebody else,
right,
you'll then be able to sue Chevy, because
not only that, you'll be able to sue the maker of the paint on that Chevy.
Yeah.
Because there
it was a red Chevy. It hit me because it was red.
Exactly. And it'd been worked on by this body shop. So sue the body shop. It just opens the door to it means that you don't have to tie anything functional. There's no logical tie between the thing that caused the harm. It's just, having been present.
And if
sue anybody on Earth because they were subject to the same gravity.
Well, and if this were to actually be held up, that you could sue Remington, think about the precedents that would set for proving a murder case, for example.
The courts will be flooded instantaneously. You won't be able to hire a lawyer.
No.
They'll be so busy. Should have gotten that law degree.
So, Pincolo tagged me in something really amusing this morning. I figured it would be fun to end the stream with something amusing.
Yes.
So, some animal rights activists in Britain went after a blind guy. I'm sure you'll guess why.
Loving it already. Hit me.
Because he has a guide dog.
Oh, of course he does.
And that's against the animal's rights.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And he steps on ants when he walks.
Oh, yes.
Blind.
So
what about the bacteria he's killing?
So this guy's name is Jonathan Attenborough. How British could you possibly be?
Richard Attenborough, but anyway.
Jonathan Attenborough from Newburgh, Fife.
Newburgh, Fife? On the Avon by Saxony?
No shit, right? So Attenborough from Newburgh, Fife has said his guide dog has improved his life immeasurably in spite of his condition. Well, yeah. Sam's sorry?
They'll do that.
Yes, they will. So Sam's trusty guidance aside, Attenborough has brought up 2 occasions where animal rights activists have voiced their opposition toward the concept of having a guide dog and depriving the canines of their freedom. Okay.
So we're in favor of wild dogs.
I guess so. Because the Middle East has such a great success with feral wild dogs that when they move here and everyone has pets, they freak the fuck out. But moving on. There's
actually a feral dog problem in South San Francisco.
I don't doubt that at all.
Has been for years. There are communities of dogs that live out. If you're on Google Maps, go to Hunters Point Shipyard or just Hunters Point near San Francisco, California, just south of San Francisco. That whole area is overrun with packs of wild dogs. That's actually a place where my ship, back in the day when it was the Hunters Point Shipyard, my ship got worked on there for about 3 months. And they told us to, walk to your cars quickly and if you saw a pack of wild dogs, wait till they cleared off to where you could make it to your car to drive home.
Yeah.
If you got trapped in your car, don't leave your car until the dogs left you.
Makes sense.
And they had shore patrol in vans going out there to check the parking lots for anybody who might be treed up on top of their car or inside their car by the wild dogs. This was a big problem back in the day. And I discovered that it's still a problem out there. They never did anything about it. They just let the dogs breed. And it's been a big abandoned property out there because it's basically tidewater marsh. You can't build on it. It's, you can put piers on it and that's about it. And of course, when the shipyard business dried up in that part, because it cost too much money to do business in California. California has shot itself in the head, in the foot so many times.
Yeah.
And now they've got wild dogs. So, if you think wild dogs are a good idea, Britain, and think that the thing to do is to liberate the dogs who are providing a huge quality of life boost for blind people and make them wild dogs, give them the feral life because you think that's a good idea. You're not asking the dog if it's a good idea. Trust me when I tell you, the life of a feral dog is nasty, brutish, and short.
Well, and
mind.
You're setting up a guide dog for instant death.
Oh yeah, guide dog
in a feral dog community because they've had the dog, like the wild, trained out of them.
Well, that's the other thing is feral dogs are cannibalistic.
Yeah.
And a
service dog wouldn't last 5 seconds in a pack of wild dogs.
They would view them as prey.
Yeah.
They would literally hunt it and kill it and eat it.
Yep.
I mean, they enjoy it. Well marbled, I'm sure, but
Yeah. nice, comfortable lifestyle of being a nice, fat,
it's like
fat
eating
food.
ribeye, but they'll be,
Mr. Dax has a good point. He says the dogs like the work. They do.
yes,
Service animals love working.
Dax makes a great point. That's exactly right. Wikipedia snippet says dog sleeping rough.
Yes.
You should have spelled it rough, R-U-F-F, rough.
Rough. Yes.
Well, onomatopoeia there. Can you say hello to chat just for a minute?
Yes.
We haven't really done that. And I see Sora's there. Hi, Sora. Furry Kitten is here. Snippet, check your logic. You're there. Irate's there. Dax is there, contributing wonderfully as always. Uzi's there. Uzi, yeah. My bud, and Addie's there. We have some. So we just have the greatest chat.
We do.
This really does have the greatest chat. No fooling. Maddie's there.
We've even got a couple of new people. Optimus Christ.
Optimus is there. Cynical Lindsay. Pirate Pete, of course. Seamus was there. Cryptic, Goatman, Diesel Dave. Just good folks. Maniac Man, Mandy.
Costin.
Hello. Costin. Mustafa's there. I think I said Zombie Tap. Ginger Snap is there. I don't know.
Snap, yeah.
Don't know if she's still there, but anyway, Duck Dog. It's great fun to have all you guys here, and thank you for coming out. Supporting the show, supporting my friend Blind Press, and sitting through when she has the old fool Boomer on. And pleased to call humor. Thank God it's only one day a week. Spoil the show. Yeah, but seriously, thank you for coming out. It's so great that you come and support the show.
You guys are amazing.
They are amazing, and you got all credit to them. Love these guys. Good bunch of people.
So apparently this Attenborough guy says that other blind people in Britain have been accosted by these people.
Really?
He says Attenborough has also said other blind individuals have complained of similar encounters from those pretending to represent animal rights. The Daily Mail reports on Mr. Attenborough's confrontations. Wow, Daily Mail has an ongoing thing.
Good God. This is interesting because PETA has actually come out about this. Guide Dogs for the Blind, PETA staffer says, forget it. Sometimes I read something so absolutely insane that I just want to post the whole thing and point and say, see? Do you see what I see? And then I remember I'm supposed to be a journalist and thus must do a commentary using words instead of facial expressions and wild gesticulations. I followed a link this evening to the blog of Karen Parecka, an editor and editorial staff manager for PETA. Parecka has a PETA logo on her blog, as well as a little disclaimer on her blog that her opinions might not match up with the organization's. On at least one point mentioned below, they're marching in lockstep, but the distinction between the personal mindset of someone who has been with PETA since the very beginning and official PETA policy is duly noted. First, we learn the horrifying fact that guide dog and police dogs programs actually breed dogs specifically for those tasks. Yes, shocking, isn't it? That dogs who do very difficult, very specific tasks might be bred for those tasks. The next thing you know, we'll be selectively breeding dogs to herd sheep, guard livestock.
Oh my God.
Dun, 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 dun. It just boggles my mind that when millions of perfectly healthy, young, and trainable dogs are being put down every year in the U.S. and thousands in the U.K. for lack of good homes, these outfits think it's just fine to churn out more puppies. Another canine assistance program, Dogs for the Deaf, achieves its goal exclusively with dogs rescued from animal shelters, so there's no excuse for such irresponsibility.
Are they saying
Dogs
that guide dog breeders and service dog breeders are puppy mills.
Yes, that's exactly what she said. Precisely what she just said. You know, news
Wow.
work done by hearing dogs is very different from the work done by guide dogs or police dogs. I absolutely support using shelter and rescue dogs for any form of work they are suited for, but I also support selective breeding dogs for specific traits.
Yes.
That's intelligent, right? That's because my position is honest, consistent, and accepts that working dogs who are suited for the work they're doing are happiest doing that work.
Yeah.
Or to put it another way, if you really want to try and get a beagle to outrun my borzoi, or my borzoi to lead the blind, or a golden retriever to guard your home, well, good luck with that. And
Yeah.
good luck, too, convincing my borzoi not to run, or a beagle not to follow his nose, or or a golden retriever not to chase that Kong out into the raging winter ocean waves. Do you honestly think there is anything you can do to force a greyhound to run? Do you think you can train a dog just to be a guide dog if he doesn't want to do the work? Have you people even met a dog?
I'm sorry. I wouldn't want a rescue to be a guide dog. They
She said,
have their own issues.
then she then goes on. There are other unsavory aspects to these assistance dog programs. Other? So far, she hasn't even mentioned one. Turns out she's objecting to not letting guide dog puppies sleep on the bed or snuggle on the sofa so that they will be ready to work 24/7 at a job serving humans. Straw man alert. I've known a number of guide dog training families, and while they were very conscientious in making sure the puppies learned what they needed to learn, they had plenty of time to play with them and cuddle them.
Yep.
She also says these dogs are being deprived of, quote, some of the greatest pleasures in life, end quote, such as the aforementioned bed sleeping. If you've ever known a working dog, you'll know that their greatest pleasure in life, and it has nothing to do with sleeping on the bed.
No.
It's doing their job. Then we come to the most mind blowing part of all. Most dogs like having a job, but we humans only work an average of 8 hours a day. Why should dogs have to be on call 24/7 for years and without a vacation? Why doesn't anyone challenge the ethics of this notion?
Because dogs don't need vacations.
They don't want a vacation. They think work is the vacation.
Like, there are retired guide dogs that still live with their person, and the person has a new guide dog. And for the first few months after the old one is retired, when the blind person goes to put harness on the new dog, the old dog is like, "We're going to work, right? We're going to work, right?" And then you're like, "No, honey, you're retired. You get to stay home and rest." But I want to go to work.
Exactly.
It's like,
she says, I was out at a coffee shop today, and there were two blind people with their guide's dog there. The two humans were talking quietly, and their dogs were lying at their feet sleeping. Amazingly, that's how my dogs live their lives of leisure too. They catch cat naps and are always ready, totally of their own volition, to snap their heads up and do their self-assigned jobs, whatever they need to.
Yep.
Dogs aren't like us, so that they don't sit there hating their dead-end soul-sucking jobs and hoping for the day they can retire to a condo in Florida and never work again. That's just anthropomorphic nonsense. And it's the whole problem with listening to people who know absolutely nothing about real dogs and only know about the imaginary dogs in their heads who are amazingly very much like them. Shallow and banal. And then here, this is fun. This is fun. The PETA person goes on and says, "You got to listen. You got to hear this. I cannot believe my eyes." Okay, hold on. I just got to get my laugh reflex under control. All right. Why can't these assistance dogs be replaced with humans who are paid for their services by the government or by nonprofit organizations or by insurance companies? We have nannies and we have in-home nursing care. Why don't we have a service industry dedicated to helping blind, deaf, and otherwise disabled people get along? Surely a human assistant would be infinitely more helpful than a dog simply because of the better communication and understanding. Oh, that's right. A human assistant would have to be paid, whereas we can force a dog to do it for kibble, a kennel, and vet care. Yeah, anybody would be crazy to give up a deal like that.
I'm sorry, but dogs and cats get way better medical care than we do.
It's about to get better. And here's where I will quote PETA's official statement on guided other service dogs, because they too believe disabled people should be aided by paid human helpers instead of dogs. But I'll let PETA say it here. Humans should be relied upon for the support of the disabled rather than working dogs and other animals. It is too common for animals to be exploited and abused. Therefore, humans must be used. I don't
You know
even
what's
know
going through? Do you know what's going through my mind right now?
what.
Remember that scene in Life of Brian? Brian's running from the Romans,
Yes.
and so he jumps up on the soapbox to blend in,
Right.
and he starts preaching. And at one point, he goes, "Consider the birds. Why? Well, have they got jobs?"
Well, all right.
That's what I just can.
Here's a really. This is the last thing in the article. I just wanted to point this out. Have you ever heard of the word independence? That's what assistance dogs give to humans. The dogs get work that they love and for which they were bred and are suited. It gives them a million miles more mental stimulation and social interaction and purpose than most pet dogs will ever see, and allows them to fulfill the mission that runs in their veins. And the humans, instead of having to have a person around and struggle with any feeling of helplessness or feeling like a child, have partners who never judge them and aren't there to, quote, take care of them, end quote, but simply act as their eyes and ears. And they're not doing it for kibble either.
Louis Couture in chat says, "Get a furry."
Yeah. You know, this isn't hard. So anyway, we end up with something absolutely silly, but I hope that actually meant something to some people. That you forget that that's a beautiful thing about a dog and a human being. There's a relationship there, and when a dog feels like it's helping the human that it loves, oh my God, that's just the best form of companionship in humanity.
Yeah.
To be against that, that's just part of that vegan, PETA, anthropomorphic bullshit take on life, that life shouldn't be fun, should not be enjoyable, and that humans are evil, and we have to punish ourselves at every turn. It just makes me sad that people choose to be that way. That's why I don't want the left to win.
Yeah.
That stuff will begin to creep in, and it will be state sponsored, it will be forced, and eventually they'll use a gun.
We have a tailed feature in the chat.
Tailed feature?
Hey, bud.
Nice to see you, bro.
Fucking moo is what he says in chat. That's his first thing he says.
Tailed. It just got in for the very end of it. But anyway, like, share, and subscribe, guys. You've spent an hour and a half of your lives with Blind Press, and you even put up with me for that long, which is amazing. So,
and if you wish to listen to us again, please head over to Minions of the Zoo tonight at 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central. And we will switch places. So Skep Talk will be hosting.
Absolutely.
And I will be there, and I'm sure
have a new granddaughter.
And you will have new granddaughter stories. It will be awesome.
And by the way, I'm moving to Tuesday nights, starting this coming Tuesday.
Oh, you're taking
Sanguine and I are switching
nights
because he's had a work change. So I will be hosting Tuesdays. I hope you will still be available to come on the show.
Yep.
Great. Well, anyway, thank you all for coming out and listening to us prattle on for 90 minutes. It's great fun as always, Blends. Thanks for having me on.
No worries. Thanks for coming, and thank you, chat, for watching and chatting with us. Please like and share if you haven't already. And again, if you guys are of a mind, please consider visiting the Streamlabs link, because we are having some financial woes at the moment. But on a happier note, Minions tonight.
Yeah.
Do not have a guest yet for Friday, but keep listening for that. And Saturday we are actually doing Star Trek.
Yay!
and Polydub is actually coming to visit.
Oh boy, is he going to pick
On-
out his DS9 or what?
We're doing my
Oh,
DS9 episode.
we're doing yours still. That's right. I forgot about that.
And my episodes are Q-less from season 1. I've picked the only Q episode. The Defiant, which is season 3, episode 9. And that's actually a bit of a callback from Next Generation as well. And Facets, which is season 3, episode 25.
Very good.
So those should be some fun episodes. We're going to have a full house. We'll have Dax and Polly and Irate and Hammer and Skep and me. It's going to be a good time.
A good time will be had by all. So come out and join us, guys.
So thank you all for watching, and we will catch you on Onions tonight. Have a great rest of your day, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Why are you not ending?
You ended. Now it says it's still live.